Hey, I'm Alison Haislip.
And I am Sandeep Parikh, and welcome to our second after show of the season.
Tonight we're going to go behind the scenes of the Exile Part 2, where the graft is greener, and chat with the cast about what it took to bring this amazing project to life.
And of course, we're going to probably geek out a little bit about our collective love of science fiction and movies.
Yeah, duh. Okay, let's get this show on the road and bring out our guests.
As you can see, we've propagated. It's not just me and Alison anymore. So please welcome Malcolm Barrett, who plays Honest Izzy. Malcolm, you've seen him. The Boys, Average Joe, Timeless, Preacher, Genius, Better Off Ted, and he's yes-anding our technical difficulties, and that's what we love about Malcolm.
No, we won't.
We got some other fun folks with us too. You guys might remember these familiar faces from last episode 2 weeks ago. Jonathan Pezza, our creator. Oh yes, very excited. Woo! Let's get some hype in chat for Jonathan. Great job on this episode.
Welcome.
And then of course, executive producer extraordinaire and the lead of the show as Bryce Gordon, Tiffany Smith. Tiffany.
Yo, I said a lot of F-bombs in this episode. I'm just going to say that right now.
It's our fearless leaders.
Yeah, you do.
You sure do. Tiffany, can I tell you what cracked me up? I think my favorite line, it was near the beginning, but you say something and you're like, and just like that, and then something, but all I could think of was we were in your episode of Sex and the City. Because that's the new season is when she's like, and just like that.
Yep.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that would be a really fun but bizarre episode if you put Bryce in Sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
That'd be amazing.
So it's just Sex and the City, but on Mars now.
I might actually watch that.
there's a potential mini-sode in that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bryce Gordon, Sex and the
Jonathan's
City.
already like, how many more pages can I fit in my binder?
Yeah, he's
Not a lot.
right
It's
now.
full. It's full.
All right, Malcolm, how are you feeling now? Are you settled in? You feeling
I'm
good?
settled.
You got your tea?
Settle. I'm good.
Nice.
Have you guys ever been into like a Foley studio? Malcolm, have you ever like done the thing where you like get to walk on rocks and like flap palm fronds and be like, that's the sound of someone lightly punching their grandma? I don't know. Have you done that
Nah,
kind
man,
of thing?
I just be acting on set, man. So whenever I
He's
do,
like, I make real noises.
But what about like going to You ever go to the Universal thing? Where they show the
I've been to
thing?
that
Have you ever
thing.
done that? I was like, I work too much, man.
Malcolm's like, that's not my thing.
He's
No.
like, I go to Universal to work.
Yeah, I do this thing. where I called getting booked on shows.
Yeah. I don't go to the pretend shows.
Yeah.
oh, look how shows are made. No, but I definitely am one of those guys that like was riding the Universal rides and doing that sort of stuff, and like I would 100% see like Indiana Jones getting chased by a giant foam rock or something like that.
There's this really cool Instagram account, which I can't think of the name of it right now, but she shows all her Foley stuff that she does. And it's so cool seeing the different things that she uses. And she'll have like actors pop in. Now, I know this because Christo, who's on a show that I did an episode with her. And it's so cool. Just like eating an apple and then you see what the sound is, or just like matching people's
Right.
steps. It's so crazy.
I love that. I
It's
know
not
it
just
feels
someone
like it's
actually eating an apple.
built.
No,
Never
they'll
is.
use it for something else. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
sometimes
no.
it is
Wow.
someone eating an apple. Well,
No, they'll never do that.
Every
Yeah,
time
they-
it's an apple being eaten, it's like this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah, or
exactly.
it's like
Yeah.
celery. It's always something else.
It's like
That
that. You need a
sounds so
Nintendo
real.
controller from 1980 to clap next to a mahogany desk, and then that's
It's
the
a-
sound of
It's
eating.
a baseball card. Just-
Exactly. They can't afford apples. Okay. Questions
Let's get into
about
this.
your lives. All right, Malcolm, we're throwing to you as our special guest for today.
Malcolm.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome
To the show properly.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Virtual hugs.
Woohoo.
Have you ever done a character in an audio drama before this? And if you have, what was that experience like?
I've done a character in an audio drama that I can recall. Well, yes, actually, the first time I ever did was when I was a kid in Brooklyn. I was on some sort of audio radio play, some sort of community thing,
Cool.
which was like my very first
Nice.
time doing something like that. And then cut to decades later, during a pandemic, I did a story that was not quite a sci-fi story, but it was a story of like a cocky astronaut and the head of this sort of flight program and the sort of experience they were having together. And I think that was the first season we did. And the second season, it was like about like a jazz blues guy and my lead counterpart and us going across the country and having this back and forth. So those were really fun because it felt kind of intimate. It was like literally just the two of us, like me and the other actor along with the director and things like that. So those were fun experiences.
Malcolm, was one of them called Star Tripper?
Maybe.
I believe it was because
you guys like childhood like friends or crushes or something? What happened?
Well, no, because I looked that up and I too was a voice on Star Tripper. So
Didn't
we've technically worked together before.
Wow.
There we go.
I was like, wait a minute. We've actually done an audio drama together before.
Oh, that's funny.
The 6 Degrees of Alison Haislip.
Of podcast.
I know.
Star Tripper's great.
Seriously.
That's very cool. And then
so there we go.
When you were a kid, the one from when you were a kid, was that like with like the old timey, like they played sound effects in the room and stuff?
Okay, so I don't know how old you think I am, but fucking Milton Berle there, just like you got this one.
Yeah. You were all in black and white, right?
Yeah.
Like the world was still black and white.
In black and white. I don't know if you guys know this, but
oh my gosh,
real life didn't get color till '88.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's why neon was so popular then.
Yeah. No. It was just regular recording.
I know that was a joke question.
Was it Sandeep?
Oh yeah. All right, so let's talk about your character here, Honest Izzy. What was important for you to get across with this character?
Acting.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're
that
my
Honest
favorite
Izzy.
guest. You're my favorite. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, as long as people could understand the words that were coming out of her mouth. That was like a huge part of it.
Yeah. Communication.
Yeah,
communication.
I mean, the character is sort of brought to me, and everything starts with what's on the page there, and the page is very like, it's very Han Solo, very Briscoe County, very Nathan Fillion, and the fucking show that got canceled quick.
Firefly.
What did you say?
That one.
Firefly. Yeah, Firefly. So
Firefly.
Yes.
So it's got all of this sort of space cowboy, space pirate aspects to it. And so, like, really all I was just trying to convey is just fun and danger, and the danger and the fun and the danger, and just, really be, the guy that you want to be, right? Like, he's, in a lot of ways, for me, he's the guy you want to be when you're young, and what you picture like criminal life to be and pirate life to be, very, very
right.
Peter Quill. You know what I mean? Like, you're just sort of making your way through there, just like, I think I'm a badass, right? Like, yeah, I've always wanted to be a badass, so I'm a badass, and right. So that's sort of what's going through his mind through there, which is just like, yeah, he's in it for himself in a lot of ways, but he does have a code and he does care, and it is grounded.
Awesome. Jonathan, Tiffany, how did we score Malcolm Barrett? How did we get this Foley genius on the show? How happened?
Foley genius. I love it. You can add that to your resume, Malcolm. I'm here now.
Look at this. That is someone using hand soap. That's
I'm gonna credit you as the Foley artist for this after show on IMDb.
Looking for things.
So Malcolm was like, we talked about this a little bit on the last episode, but Malcolm and I have known each other for a while. And when I started getting people together and talking with Jonathan about people to bring on the show, I was like, hey, I think we could do some cool stuff with Malcolm. And then I think I texted Malcolm and was like, hey, would you do a voice on this audio drama that I'm doing? And he was like, yeah.
That's simple.
Sure. Process.
Yeah.
Really made her jump through hoops,
huh?
Yeah, I was like, what day is it?
What happened?
Am I free? Sure.
What day? Just tell me the day. I don't want to go through a whole thing.
Are you using
As long as they don't have a lunch that day.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably legit go through our text messages and see that that's like the dialogue.
It's probably
Yeah.
verbatim that.
Sup, want to do this thing? Sure.
Yeah.
We shift to Jonathan. How pumped were you when you heard we got Malcolm?
Oh, how pumped was I? Oh my God. I mean, huge, like giant fan of the boys, love Preacher, love Timeless. So once we had figured out that you were going to do it, I was like, oh, okay, let's go back. I looked at Honest Izzy again and I was like, okay, what can I adjust here and try to like bring the voice together with what I knew from your other stuff. And then working with you has just been awesome. So I hope you dug the episode. I think, right. Everybody just got to hear it today. So what did you think of this first appearance of Honest, or second appearance of Honest Izzy?
Pretty cool, I bet they think.
Favorite guest
He was
ever.
asking you, Malcolm.
Yeah. Like
Favorite guest
how
ever.
how did it feel to hear yourself in it? Because it's so, I record everything so separately.
If you're anything like me, Malcolm, I never listen to stuff that I record or like do or watch myself. But when I have to do an after show,
I you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I listen to myself all the time.
Same.
I watch.
I love hearing my own voice.
Yeah, I don't care.
do you? Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's friggin', it was cool. I wasn't sure it was going to be. I don't remember how long ago we recorded this. So I didn't know what to expect. One thing I do go look at things, but when I'm done with it, I kind of throw it away. I don't think about it anymore.
Right.
And so like, I really had no idea what to expect. And I was like, where is this, in space?
I'm in.
Like, so then I listened again. I listened all day today.
You're like, oh, this is what I did.
Yeah, all right, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's got this whole other world, and I don't listen to a whole bunch of podcasts, so it's kind of fun to sort of rejoin the sort of radio play world.
So, Malcolm, since you've gotten to be a part of so many different and iconic sci-fi shows, what do you think it takes to make a great sci-fi story?
It starts with, it's going to sound like really stupid, but it starts with like heart and subject matter. Like a majority of the time, sci-fi shows are really just metaphors for the things that are going on in today's life in a lot of ways, like just with like abstraction and alienation. So to me, it will always be about, okay, what's at the heart of like the hero's journey is at the heart of most of the sci-fi that I see. Right. And so like that's a sort of classic element is the hero's journey. And then the rest is just like alienation and imagination. It's just like taking something like small and different and, stretching it out and seeing what that would be like, or, finding a world or some sort of fact that people don't know in a world that they don't know and finding the humanity in it. Do you know what I mean? Timeless did that. This does that. Like it's a lot of like hero's journey that's just a little bit removed from reality.
That was such a genuine answer.
Yeah, it was a great answer. I don't know if this counts
Yeah,
as...
but I just laughed because Tiffany wrote into chat, I'm waiting for him to say putting him in it. What's it take to make me crazy?
That's even better.
That makes sense.
Speaking of chat, we got Dan Wally in here saying my favorite Malcolm part will always be Lem from Better Off Ted. So
Yeah, that one was one of my favorite roles because that's probably the first role I did. I did a movie with Kat. I mean, I figured you had me here so I can name drop.
please,
Yeah.
by all means,
Please do.
But I'd done The Hurt Locker from Catherine Bigelow right before that, and that movie was the first movie that taught me to not be afraid of the camera or embracing the camera in a lot of ways. Like I came from theater, so I was always I felt like a ham. And so, but that movie broke a record for most amount of film used on a movie. And part of that was because...
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and part of it was I was there, and don't worry, we're going to get to Lemon, Phil, and Better Off Ted. But I was there for a week shooting the same scene, and it was an action scene. I'd never really done that complex an action scene. It was in Jordan. A bunch of Bedouins. all this sort of thing. But it made me, because there was so many takes, so many different angles, it just made me, and you weren't always getting talked to, because there's over 100 people. So you're just like doing things, and, a couple friggin' 23 takes in, you're going straight at camera doing this. That experience and being able to embrace the camera in a different way totally facilitated the way I acted on Better Off Ted, which was probably one of my first series regular roles on a single camera comedy. And so, like, whereas multi-camera comedy, like multicam is like your Friends or something like that, or like anything that's just shot from the front, this is the
Studio
first
audience usually.
Yeah, studio audience, right? So this is the first one I had done that like wasn't like that, and it was like, oh, I can embrace this sort of cinematic world of comedy, and so it affected everything I did, how I moved, and then I also had a great partner in Jonathan Slavin, and we actually had been going in for similar roles a number of times over our career. Aesthetically, people didn't guess it, because they're like, you're black, he's white, you guys are age difference. But so much of what was similar in us was our character and our depth and our humanity and a quirkiness that by the time we actually got to auditioning for this role, we fit very well. It was very much a yin and yang. And we came with a philosophy, which was that everything's funnier if the both of us do it, right? Like, we had a very codependent relationship. None of us, like, we fit with each other, but we weren't trying to one up each other. We were just trying to move, we would have these weird looks with each other that we never practiced, but just made sense because we knew none of us could make a decision if we're in the same room without checking in on the other person. Like, mentally, emotionally, like in character, that always had to happen. Like, we had an elevator scene.
Peas in the pod.
We had an elevator scene, and we never even discussed it when we did it. But what happens is you cut to us on the elevator right before what would wind up being my girlfriend walks in, and for 5 seconds, me and him don't talk. Like, we don't talk, we don't look each other, because in our heads we were like, yeah, when Lem and Phil are not around people, they shut down. So we both are they just power off down. Like, these codependent people not looking at each other or talking to each other, just like, this is our comfort zone. So it was a really fun experience. Like, we actually had one episode where we weren't together, where they separated us just for the story arc, and we went to the producer like the end of that day, if not the end of that episode, and we're like, never do that again. We were like, every episode, it's us two together for the entire length of the episode. We don't care if it's 2 minutes or 20 minutes, but don't ever separate us again.
Wow.
So I want to ask a question that's kind of, and this is open to kind of everybody, with the state of the industry being kind of what it is, where do you think, because as you sort of reminisced about all of your cool roles and all these movies and TV, it sort of made me long for a day when it felt like that stuff was still prolifically happening. How are you managing it today? Maybe when the stuff has been slowing down a bit, and where do you think like the sort of the future of storytelling is going? Is it into formats like these, like audio dramas and stuff like that? Are we going to find other ways to be creative and still telling our stories with, Hollywood being in the state that it's in? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to get outside of it. Like, I'm at a very frustrated point, because I feel like they've turned even the veterans into gig workers. Like we're all fighting to do 8 episodes of a show that airs, again in 2 years, while we wait, to see if it's going to get picked up or something like that. So it's a really rough from that angle. And I know people are scared of the AI thing. To be honest, I think, we're natural storytellers, and people are going to want to tell stories in whatever way, shape, or fashion that there is. I mean, this podcast being an example of it, you know what I mean? Like, literally, I wasn't really doing a whole lot of voiceover stuff until the pandemic happened, and I had to sort of widen my options and reevaluate what I was doing. And even I started casting for a while and doing that. So I think, To quote Tiffany's crush, what life what finds a way.
Where are we going? One thing I will say, like, being friends with Malcolm and getting to see just like a little bit of the career that I've gotten to see, like, he is always busy. And what I appreciate so much, and like I've said this before, but like I think there's people that, like, everyone in my life I look at as a mentor in some way. And so Malcolm, this is the only time I'll ever say this to you. But like, it's cool watching the stuff that he does in such different mediums and different ways where he pushes himself, because I want to be like that too, where it's like going over the different things you've done. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, where it's like, I know you're doing theater and then you're working on your own stuff and then it's the comedy and then it's like high kind of fantasy stuff. And so it's so cool to get to see that journey and the things that you're able to do and like the things that you push yourself to do. I love it. I think it's so cool.
Good thank you.
And then also, I love the fact that, like, we've said this a million times on the show, but it's a lot of my friends who are in the show. So we have Jeff in the chat, who is a voice on the show as well. And then Eugene Bird just joined the chat, who is also a voice on the show as well.
What up?
Welcome
Welcome.
to the chat, guys. Thanks for dropping in.
Thank you.
That's very exciting. We got to get these guys on the show. Malcolm, Tiffany was just listing all these genres. Like, do you have a favorite? Do you love, doing the comedy? Do you love the sci-fi? Like, what really, like, do you get pumped about when you got cast in, that genre?
Sci-fi is always amazing. Like Timeless was great because it was sci-fi, but I got to be like a genius in a hoodie. You know what I mean? And so like
The best.
Yeah. So like that was really, I was like, oh, I got to be me in this bigger world. But to be honest, I just like to do the opposite of whatever I just did. One of the things I really want to do is a sort of private detective noir type thing.
Hell yeah.
And like, that's one of I love a down and out detective. I love a Sam Spade or a Philip Marlowe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are my type of things. So I
gotta
really
get on the new Blade Runner.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to do that like type of journey of the guy who's like trying, he fails, he gets beat up, but he gets back and he helps people.
Okay.
Yeah. That's amazing.
All right. So you hear that, casting directors? All you casting directors that are listening.
It's fun how all the pulp genres all can intermingle with each other in really strong ways, like noir and sci-fi and action adventure. And
that's what this kind of is, right?
Yeah.
Exile. I mean,
it's definitely noir. Gritty noir, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, you even have the character.
Are you trying to get my role? Is that what you're trying to do? You want to play?
We need a new Bryce. Yeah, I think we just voice over.
Well, the Izzy minisode is pretty close to that, though.
Oh, I heard that today. I love the mini episode. There's some twists and turns in there.
So what's the conceit? What's the conceit of the mini episode?
Izzy goes on a journey.
When you hear the after show minisode,
the minisode after show,
that is fucking off the chain.
Yeah, that one's
it's actually just Malcolm. I need to make it just a different room and Foleying with whatever he finds there.
I have to defend my honor real quick. Eugene is calling me out in chat saying I owe you money. I think you actually owe me a text, sir.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Got him.
Snap.
This is why you come to the live after show, because you get to see all the shenanigans.
You just have like a bunch of props, dude. Like,
was that a syringe gun?
What's the needle gun? Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah. It is.
It's the needler or whatever.
Oh my god!
Oh, the
gosh, amazing.
Cricket from
I got it. Took me a second.
Men in Black.
That's what we should do.
Yeah.
Do I have?
Guess what's in Malcolm's room is the new mini game. This is the minisode. This is actually the after minisode.
What's in my pocket?
That's
what's happening.
This for Timeless fans. This was the recorder I would use to
is that a COVID test?
Record my team that Rufus would use on Timeless.
Amazing.
Oh my god, you're pregnant. Sorry, I just like that's cool. That's super cool.
Should we do a little rapid fire with Malcolm?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Malcolm, since you're our guest, we've already done this with Jonathan and Tiffany, so they can't do it. but we have a little rapid fire question round for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
We call it the Exiles list.
Okay.
No thinking.
It's gonna be 5 questions. Yeah,
Easy.
this is just like your knee-jerk reaction to these questions. Sandeep, why don't you start with the first one?
Okay, if you were exiled to a foreign planet, what would you bring? What's the one thing you'd take with you?
Oh, I think he froze.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. I was like,
rapid fire,
I
Malcolm.
was like, he's really
longest-
thinking about this.
It's the longest knee jerk I've ever heard in my life. Slow knees, this guy.
All right, go. Was it
If you were exiled to a foreign planet, what would you bring? If you can only bring one thing?
an astronaut suit?
An astronaut.
Ooh.
Okay, going very practical.
Very
Not
smart.
Like your favorite
Very
stuff.
smart.
It literally got stuck again. I was like, is he serious?
No. Okay. If you could bring one sci-fi show, book, or movie with you, what would you bring?
Dr. Strangelove.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
great flick. Okay, awesome. And then only one type of food that you could have. What's the one type of food you bring?
Oh, I'm gonna go stereotypical and say fried chicken.
Wow.
Ooh. Jeff in chat got it. Jeff Torres
This is the only
got
one
it.
you can get wrong, and you got it wrong.
Yeah.
It's potatoes. The answer is potatoes, and that's Tiffany's answer
We're-
for everything.
We've
Yeah,
all
so
learned from
sorry.
Matt Damon. It's potatoes.
Potatoes.
You can only eat fried chicken one time. Once you eat it, it's gone. What are you going to do?
No, to be fair,
You plant it.
you can have leftover fried chicken and it's still really good.
You plant it in your poop.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you would survive on Mars or in the world of the Exile?
No.
Yeah.
Correct. Would you? Okay, you know how people are going to those like Mars, signing up to go to Mars? Is that
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Would you sign up to go to Mars?
I'm black.
Would you ever live on Mars? Correct. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just want to be your best friend so bad. I can't.
You think I want to do chill with Elon Musk in space? No.
No. No.
Amazing. Okay, and then the last question from chat, from Voodoo Daddy here. Do you or do you not own a life-size cutout of Ruby Rod from The Fifth Element?
Hey man. No. Cubby, baby. Cubby. Where you at, Cubby? No, I didn't. No,
It's
I
very
didn't.
good.
That was really good. All right. Well,
Yeah.
Congratulations. You survived the Exiles list. Okay. I think it's time to wrap it up for this installment of the After Show. Of course, thank you to everyone who came out to be a part of the live experience. For all of you listening out there in podcast land, hey, join us July 16th at 7 p.m. Pacific time to live listen with other fans and to get a chance to interact with the cast. Once again, that's going to be July 16th at 7 p.m. on twitch.com/effnfunny, EFFIN funny. And if you're wondering why I'm laughing because you're listening to the audio podcast, it's because Malcolm is wearing
Malcolm has
everything.
gone full
All
gadgets.
the props.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah,
props.
he's now the prop master as
Uh,
well of this episode.
Exactly. Huge thank you to our guest, Malcolm, for bringing all the enjoyment. And of course, Tiffany and Jonathan, thank you for joining us again. Thanks for coming on the After Show and being a part of the Exile.
And thanks once again to our technical team and led by DeathQueenVex and all of our mods. We love you.
Yes. And listen, we want to hear your feedback. So make sure to reach out and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, under the handle @CMAnthology or online at www.cmanthology.com.
Listen,
Oh, man.
again, Malcolm's just showing props, photos of himself, photos
Please
of
be
who
sure-
knows what. Just
This is
close
a picture
up
of my. It's a picture of my grandfather. Please be make sure.
I was laughing. This is why you should tune into the actual live stream of the After Show right now.
Please also make sure to like, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
The Exile is based on Police Your Planet by Lester Del Rey, a literary work in the public domain, and the show was produced in accordance with U.S. copyright law. Curious Matter Anthology is produced by the Knightsville Workshop in association with Effin' Funny Productions. Copyright Knightsville Workshop 2024, all rights reserved.
We'll be right back here with the next After Show in 2 weeks, but make sure to listen to the next.
Wait, Malcolm's got awards now. He's showing his acting.
We're
just trying to wrap this up.
It's the longest wrap out ever. So make sure to listen to the next Out of This World chapter of The Exile, as well as our next mini-sode, as we said, which drops on Tuesday. You're Alison Haislip.
And you're Sandeep Parikh. Thank you for listening. We did
Bye.
it. We You did it.
Bye, everybody.
Nailed it.
Malcolm, thank
Nailed
you.
That was awesome. That
My
was
face
fucking
hurts.
great. It's the best.